Hey guys, so I've broken this video into two parts. If you didn't catch my stream yesterday, which is currently blocked, which I'm trying to get YouTube to unblock right now, I did manage to record it. So I've got the first part of my reaction, my initial reaction to Chaos Reigns. The timestamps are in the description below. The second part is going to be my reaction this morning. So if you haven't seen that, then you can skip to that part. But just before the video starts, I just wanted to quickly give a shout out to Instant Gaming, my sponsor. They've been great to me, and I just wanted to let you guys know that there's still time to go on there and join the raffle. You'll win a game at the end of the month, any game that you want on the Instant Gaming website. You can also go in there and use my affiliate code, which is in the link, which is in the description below. There's a link in there as well as the raffle. You can go on the Instant Gaming website, find all sorts of discounts on games. You know, we live in a time where everything is expensive right now, so if you can save a bit of money, by all means go ahead and use my links. Always let me know what games you got. I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. My Discord link is in the description below, so if you have any questions about Instant Gaming, the promotion, the raffle, you can let me know in the comment section. I tried to respond to all the comments, and there's loads and loads of games on there that you can get for very, very cheap. And yeah, you know, I've used it, they've been good to me, so I thought, you know, why not promote them to you guys. But anyway, I hope you enjoy my two-part rant. It is a rant. If you are a Mortal Kombat 1 fan, I do not recommend this video for you. I have absolutely nothing nice to say. So once again, use the link in the description below if you want to join the raffle, if you want to get any discounted games, which you can find over Instant Gaming. So enjoy the rant.
Enough. I understand.
But that is not all. I had no business judging you for believing Bihan's lies. I too was taken in. It is he, and he alone, who deserves my ire. You, however, deserve an invitation.
I... What can I say? Thank you, Kuai Liang.
Thank you,
What is going
Grandmaster.
on? No, it ended like that. No. Wait, let me turn the gameplay audio down because I'm sure there's gonna be a post-credit scene. Let No! Oh my god, this is what they charge £50 for. Don't want to get copyright. We're gonna get copyright anyway because I'm doing the state of play. Let me turn the gameplay audio down. I'm staying on streaming for like another 5 hours because we're doing the state of play. Let me give my thoughts, okay? Now, I didn't pay for this shit, okay? I didn't pay for this shit. I got lucky and thank God I didn't, because shit is the appropriate word here. What just happened? What? How did it end like that? Havoc's ability, right? Let's just start at Havoc. Havoc ripped his arms off every second and it kept regenerating, but somehow Bihan ripped off his limbs and he was like, I can't. What? NRS. Do you know what NRS is good at doing? They are very good at pulling wool over people's eyes because the presentation is good. It looks like you're watching a movie at times. The choreography and the fights is very good. But when you actually break down the NRS era of Mortal Kombat, it is one of the most inconsistent, shambolic messes you will ever see. There is no consistency in the power scaling. At least in Street Fighter and in Tekken, the Mishimas are top dogs. People don't beat them. No one beats them. If a Mishima wants you to win, then you'll win. Otherwise, you're losing. In Street Fighter, Ryu's always been that guy. Akuma's always been that guy. Ken's always been that guy. Right? The only people that have ever beat Bison are like, what, Akuma and Ryu. But in this, Noob loses to, who, Tanya? But he beats Havoc. Scorpion is the leader. Okay, well, let's just get on Scorpion real quick. Scorpion is the leader of the Shirai Ryu. The Shirai Ryu is a Japanese name. Scorpion in this game is Chinese. Why does he have a Japanese clan? Secondly, my man had his wedding run up on, and then he wasn't even beaten by the Grand Master. He was beaten by a subordinate. And then the Grand Master was beaten by a subordinate. Can someone make this make sense to me? I am so confused. If Sub-Zero is a Grand Master, why is he constantly taking L's to everyone? And then on top of that, in Sub-Zero's infinite wisdom, he was like, I lost to Cyrax. I get jobbed out by Scorpion all the time. Let me jump through a portal where there's a literal titan, a being above a god, and let me confront him and his whole army. And then what happens? He gets his ass rocked. Bro, the story, this was terrible. I'm sorry, this was terrible. If the graphics were good, I liked Orin's part, the fight choreography was there, but the consistency in the storytelling was shit. When Havoc came through the portal, right? When Havoc came through the portal and he was like, we don't need you right now. We need him. And they put in at Geras. Geras just stood there like, me? And then he just got dragged into a portal. And I was like, Geras, ain't you like the keeper of time or something? Ain't you like an elder god? What are you doing? Can't you just stop time? When Havoc said that, Geras should have just been like, shut up and stop time. The powers have, there's no consistency whatsoever. And to make matters worse, this did not advance the story at all. We are at ground zero again. There is no signs of the multiverse stopping. There's no signs of it being a self-contained story now. They just stopped one bad guy. We don't actually even know what happened to Havoc. I'm hoping at the post-credit scene we're going to see what happens now. We don't even know what happened to him. For some reason, he couldn't regenerate anymore. Yeah, even Orin's inclusion. I liked seeing Orin, but I was like, are they not going to do anything more with him? It felt like there was an almost sympathetic story that you could tell that Havoc had imprisoned him. Tanya was like, oh, we're going to come back for you. She didn't come back for shit. She didn't come back for shit. They didn't show us anything. $50 for this. $50. I hope I saved you guys money. I hope I saved you guys money. I know I've been harsh to Mortal Kombat, but I feel like my criticisms are warranted. None of us are stupid here, right? You could have at least told a story where it was consistent. Sub-Zero's the Grandmaster. Scorpion's the Grandmaster of his clan. At least if those two were getting W's. But they just sucked. And then Bihan, they introduced Noob Saibot. And it's like, oh, chaos. He comes out. All of us were like, okay, this is what we're here for. We're here to see Bihan. We're here to see Noob Saibot. He comes out. He gets fucked up immediately. He gets beaten to the point. He got his ass rocked so badly that they dragged his ass from one realm or one timeline to another. And he still wasn't awake. Can someone explain that to me? Let's not forget the part where the bridge broke and Scorpion got pushed out of the way by Cyrax. And he turned around to Cyrax and went, thank you for saving my life. Are you that fragile? Every time I look at my comment section, I've got some MK guy in there going to me, oh, the MK characters, they'd fuck up the Tekken and Street Fighter characters. Are you on crack? Are you mad? This proved it. Scorpion was able to deduce that height would have killed him if he fell off. There were Grandmasters getting beaten by subordinates. Liu Kang, by the way, apparently can just incinerate people, right? He can just incinerate people, yet he stands there. He's like, oh, we need to stop the cleric of chaos and blah, 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 blah. And he's always like, oh, if I leave my realm, then my realm might fall apart. Well, Havoc left his realm 100 times. Not to mention, Havoc managed to acquire the Kamidogus, right? He got all the Kamidogus and then walked up to Liu Kang, put himself in harm's way just to give us this whole spiel about how he's angry that Liu Kang foiled his plans originally, when he could have taken the Kamidogus and just pissed off back to his timeline and infused them in his chest. The writing in this story mode was awful. The writing in this story mode was awful. I'm sorry. Like I said, the choreography was cool. Tanya looked good. Some of the characters looked okay. Majority looked like shit. I don't know what's up with the Mohawk stuff. Clerics of Chaos, but let's go get our hair dyed and cut like this is Mad Max. What is the obsession with Mad Max? What is the obsession with Mad Max? Am I missing something here? These like people that are chaotic are like to me. I'm like they ain't got time to be getting their hair done. They probably look more like me, right? I don't get my hair done ever. They probably look more like me. Just wake up. This is how you wake up. But instead, they're going to the barbers and getting their hair trimmed. And then so Quan Chi lost to Frost. Scorpion lost to Cyrax. Sub-Zero lost to Cyrax as well. What else happened? God, I'm so frazzled right now. I'm sorry, I don't mean to like make this a thing, but did all the dudes take L's in this or something? Or am I just tripping? Scorpion and Sub-Zero sucked. Who did Tanya beat up again? Oh, Tanya beat up Noob Saibot. Knocked his ass out. Knocked his ass out. Do you know what? I could have even accepted, yeah. There's a lot of things I could have accepted, but the ending made it even worse because after taking L after L after L and taking an L when he's gotten his boost in power, Noob Saibot's then like, oh yeah, no, I'm okay. I can beat a Titan in a fight. A Titan. Not a god, a Titan. Make it make sense, guys, please. If there's anybody, I am very open to have a conversation about this because we've got some time until the state of play starts, right? We got some time before we talk about Heihachi, before we talk about PlayStation. That's on in about 2 hours. Let's have a discussion. Is there anybody in the chat that thinks that I'm talking shit right now? I'm very happy to have a discussion about this. This was terrible. If you can prove me wrong, I'll open my Discord. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. This was fucking stupid. I've seen more consistency from filler anime, like random shonen anime. Random shonen filler, I've seen more consistency from in terms of power scaling. You know how they shit on Dragon Ball all the time for power scaling? MK has it beat. MK has it beat. I don't know what to say. Let's give a W where a W is worth though. Some of the music in the story mode was a step in the right direction. So they took a few baby steps. But the character designs of the people from the realm of chaos or the dimension of chaos or whatever it is, terrible. Almost terrible, almost across the board. So alright, let's weigh this up. Music was good. The fight choreography was good. The voice acting in MK is always good. The voice acting is always very good in MK. I really like the how expressive they are. But that might be as far as it extends. MK is the game, right? That changed the way we looked at fighting games. So now when people put characters in fighting games, they feel like they have to justify it through story. So MK came along and it changed the game. And now other fighting games are trying to like basically follow it. But look at this fall from grace. Look at this fall from grace, guys. I don't need it to like, I don't mind if you revive characters, okay? It's a fighting game. You can revive whoever you want. But I at least need the strength to be consistent. How can you call yourself the fucking grandmaster of a whole clan of ninjas, and you're like losing to subordinates? Who are you to give them orders? Cyrax outranks Sub-Zero. We should just call him Scrub-Zero. Maybe they're trying to reflect the actual balancing of Sub-Zero. Do you think, yeah? Do you think that this entire story mode was to laugh at Sikander? I gotta call bro up and say to him, yo, I think they designed the story mode intentionally to shit on your character. They must have. They made Sub-Zero look like such a bitch in this story mode. Sub-Zero is a legendary character. His worth has gone down the drain. You know when they push wrestlers and then the push ends and they start losing to random people and you're like, why did they ever like this guy? That's what's become of Sub-Zero. That is what has become of Sub-Zero. Poor Sikander, man. He must be going through it right now. Not only did they give Sub-Zero no patch notes, but he was consistent in his shit in the story mode. Man. Crazy. crazy, crazy. Let's not forget the part, right, where the fucking ninjas, right? Because the Lin Kuei they're basically ninjas. And they're at the top of the, in the Colosseum. And Scorpion's there, like, running along. And I'm like, bro, can't you teleport? Can't you teleport, Scorpion? Why are you running pillar to pillar? Can't you teleport? And I swear, like, Sector, in the beginning, didn't she start this story mode by turning invisible? And Cyrax was all like, why are you fighting invisible? This isn't enough. Didn't Sector turn invisible? But then when they went to the Colosseum, Sector was like, I'm not going to turn invisible. I'm going to run everywhere. Why? I'm sorry, there's a lot to there's a lot to go over here. Then I lower at Soldier Johnny Cage. Look, Soldier Johnny Cage is the least of my worries here. He was just there to be minor comic relief. Look, if there is by chance anybody affiliated at NRS, okay, I'm talking to you now. Put Mortal Kombat on ice. Put the franchise on ice. You have lost the plot. This is my advice, right, to NRS. Put the franchise on ice. Go and make your horror fighting game because you're obsessed with putting horror characters in this game. Experiment with that. Use that as your template. Give MK 10 years off. Let us miss the franchise. Let us miss it. Because this was awful. And then rethink it. Go back to your roots. I don't know what this was. It was barely coherent. I would love, honestly speaking, no disrespect to the writers. If I had the opportunity to actually sit here and put them on live stream and ask them why there was such inconsistency in their characters and how I'm supposed to take any of them seriously anymore, I would love to. I wouldn't be disrespectful. I won't cuss them out or anything. I have legitimate questions how these people got a job in a franchise as big as Mortal Kombat. I legitimately want to know. I could have written a better story in 10. I could have put something together in like 10 minutes that was better than this. The narrative didn't even make any sense. Sector was like, have you no respect for your brother? I'm sorry, my brother just tried to kill me and my wife at my wedding. Do we get an end credit scene? Do we get an end credit scene? Please tell. I hate it. I have no words for this, guys. I have no fucking words for this. What the hell is going on with Mortal Kombat? What have they done to Mortal Kombat? Am I being a hater right now? Am I being unnecessary? What the fuck have they... What have they done? What have they done to this franchise? This is a joke. If you are watching this and you are on the fence about buying Mortal Kombat 1, please don't spend your money on this game. For the first year that this game came out, I told everybody don't buy it. Don't spend money on any microtransactions, nothing like that. And for a whole year, I remained consistent. I didn't put this garbage on my screen. But I said, you know what? Khaos Reigns is here. It's a second edition of the game. Let's try start fresh. Let's try and start fresh. This was worse than the first rendition. The first story mode was better than this. I know it was shorter, but if you weigh it up proportionately, it was better. It had a bit more coherence than this. This was awful, NRS. This was fucking awful. I hope you guys saved your money. They do not deserve it. I'm sorry. I don't want Mortal Kombat to fail. I grew up playing these games. If I go into that draw down there, I've got nothing but MK games dating all the way back. I've got this fucking arcade. Well, actually, no, the MK1. You guys have seen it at Sabi's house. I have been a fan of Mortal Kombat for ages, but I would be disingenuous and I'd be shilling if I said anything other than this was one of the most shambolic displays of a story I have ever seen in my life. Ever seen in my life. And I thought to myself, maybe this story will be so well put together that it will make me want to use Noob Cyber. It will make me want to play the game again because I'm invested in the narrative. Nope. I want to play this even less now. I want to play this game even less. Even less than 0. Minus. I can't fucking believe this. Where's is Sikander online? Let me get this boy online. Is this guy online? I need to hear how he feels about Sub-Zero. Let me message this guy again. I'm flabbergasted. I am flabbergasted. Yo, are you awake? Or are you crying into your pillow? My God, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. He's streaming right now. Tell bro to not play story mode. He's gonna have an aneurysm. So I've woken up and I sat on it and I thought, was I being over the top with Khaos Reigns? You know, you saw my initial reaction just now. Was I putting on a show for my stream chat? Was I talking out of my ass? Was I not being fair to the story, to what NRS had provided us with? And no. The answer is no. I was being too lenient with how bad the storytelling was in this. And I would challenge anybody, and I challenged people in my stream chat, to which nobody took up the challenge. I don't know why they would, because everybody in there seemed to have common sense as well, to tell me how this was a good and well thought out and well told story. It wasn't. It was nonsense from beginning to end. If you're telling me that the story matters in Mortal Kombat, if you're putting a whole story mode in an expansion and charging for it, then it must mean something. So why is it your flagship characters, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, are treated like cannon fodder? How is it that you are the Grand Master of a clan? A whole clan of ninjas, or whatever the Lin Kuei are. Whatever, I don't really care. They all dress like ninjas, so they're ninjas. I don't really give a shit. Samurai, whatever. And yet, one of your subordinates beats your ass in front of everyone, and yet everybody's still meant to call you Grandmaster. Not only does she beat your ass in front of everyone, she beats your brother, the other Grandmaster of the opposing clan. Does respect and power scaling mean nothing to NRS? Why is it that when you play as a character in a Mortal Kombat story mode, they can't just lose and it would make sense for the story? This happened in MK11 in the expansion Aftermath when Nightwolf managed to defeat Geras. Now he had the help of Shang Tsung and Fujin, but Geras is like an older god, right? He's a time merchant. He's that guy. He shouldn't be losing to someone like Nightwolf, regardless of the help from Fujin and Shang Tsung, because they're not that powerful to be dealing with a being like that. But being a god in the Mortal Kombat universe, it doesn't mean anything. So when I get people coming to my comment section, I know this is kind of dumb, but you know, we do it in the anime community, and I guess it spills over into fighting games as well. They're like, oh, who would win in this fight? Who would win in that fight? MK characters are made out of A4 paper. They're made out of Play-Doh. They're made out of fucking wet blankets, okay? MK characters are weak, and they prove it in this story. There's a part where the bridge collapses and Cyrax pushes Scorpion out of the way, and Scorpion turns around to her and says, "Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for saving my life." Are you telling me that fool would have killed you, Scorpion? Exactly how are you the leader of a whole ninja clan? Then they're sneaking around Havoc's Coliseum. Doesn't Scorpion have the ability to teleport? Doesn't Scorpion have the ability to teleport? Why is he not teleporting instead he's running around pillar to post? Can't Sector turn invisible? Just turn invisible. You can get half the job done on your own. Noob Cyborg gets introduced to the story. Gets his ass beat immediately. Immediately. Oh, sorry. Before we get there. There was an Elseworld Quan Chi and Frost fighting in the Coliseum. And Frost beat Quan Chi. Anyway, Noob Saibot gets jobbed out again, right? This has been a running joke with Noob Saibot. And I guess with Bihan. And I guess it reflects in the actual balancing of the gameplay because they have completely neutered that character. And they refuse to buff him for whatever reason. I don't know what their problem is with Sub-Zero. There's clearly an issue with the character. There's also an issue with Scorpion. I really do think they're trying to push out the old and bring in the new. Because I think Sector ends up becoming the Grand Master in Sub-Zero's absence. I'm guessing Frost is going to become the new Sub-Zero rank or whatever. Cyrax is welcomed into the Shirai Ryu. They don't like her, as we come to find out in her classic ending. She's beating their ass, but then they like her. Anyway, Noob Saibot for me was like the winning point in this. Well, he was supposed to be anyway. I was like, okay, Noob's here, this is going to be sick. This guy took L after L after L. How can he be the Grand Master and then be given a boost in power, right? The chaotic magic that Havoc used on Noob Saibot, on Sub-Zero, Bihan, when he turned into Noob Saibot, should have made him exponentially more powerful. Yet he loses the first time we see him and then takes L after L after that. It made no sense. They have no regard for their characters. They book their characters the way Vince McMahon was booking wrestlers in the ending, in the closing moments of his career. No direction whatsoever. I cannot take Scorpion seriously as a character anymore. I can't take Sub-Zero seriously as a character anymore. I was never going to take the gender-bent versions of Sector and Cyrax seriously, even though that's clearly what they want us to do. MK's storytelling has become so bad that it actually mirrors the rest of the game now. What NRS are good at doing is they are good at pulling wool over your eyes. It looks very pretty. You feel like you're watching a film. The voice acting is very good. Graphics are great. Choreography and the fighting is good. But if you actually look at the writing and the narrative pieces and where they're pushing the characters and where they're putting certain people, it makes no sense. At least in Tekken and at least in Street Fighter, when you have the tough guys win. Unless it's a situation where like Jin is fighting the devil within him and not paying attention to his opponent. Same thing with Ryu, he's fighting the evil in him for a long time, the Dark Hado, and his opponent gets the better of him because he's fighting two enemies. That doesn't happen in MK. Characters lose based on who you're using. So if you're using Tanya, and it's Tanya's turn of story, Tanya's going to beat everybody. It doesn't matter if it's Shao Kahn, it doesn't matter if it's a Titan, it could be fucking Goku. Tanya will win that fight in the law. Because for whatever reason, NRS does not believe in consistency when it comes to power scaling. In no universe should Tanya be able to beat Noob Saibot. Sub-Zero is meant to be one of the greatest warriors from Earthrealm. He can touch you and freeze you and then smash you into a million pieces. That ability on its own is broken. And then you get that and you have Havoc infuse chaos into him so he becomes even more powerful. Now he can create other versions of himself. Not just one version, mind you. We're going to get to that in a little bit. He can create multiple versions of himself, yet somehow he's still getting smacked around by X, Y, and Z. And then let's talk about Titan Havoc. Actually, no, wait. Let's not talk about him. Let's talk about Geras real quick. Geras is the most bitch-made individual of all the gods. Easily the most bitch-made. Havoc walks through the portal and he's like, hey, we don't want you. We want you. And Geras stands there going, me? And then he gets jumped by these Mad Max rejects, puts up no fight. Bear in mind, this guy can just stop time. He can just stop time. He can stop you in your tracks. There's been no indication that he can. He has a time limit on it outside of what the gameplay shows us. There's no indication in the lore that he has a time limit on that. And even if he did, why didn't he use his time stop? I mean, he used it to protect Liu Kang when Noob Saibot was about to punch him in the face. That time it was fine, and he broke it when he saw fit. But when he's getting attacked by the Cleric of Chaos, he's just there going, "Oh, Liu Kang, help me!" And he gets dragged into the other dimension, and they torture him. Geras is a fucking joke. He's a joke of a character. I can't take him seriously anymore either. I could barely take him seriously before when Nightwolf beat him, but anyway. Let's talk about Havoc for a little bit. Havoc comes in here, big bad guy. He doesn't really seem that impressive. He doesn't even seem as mad as I thought he was going to be, as chaotic as they were making him out to be. He was pretty tame. He seemed to have a decent relationship with Kenshi and Takeda as well. They were like his right-hand men. He fumbles so many times. Like, you've got Orin chained up, and in Havoc's infinite wisdom, he didn't think to get somebody to speak Orin's language, you've got a telepath there. Kenshi doesn't know that Orin speaks another language, because when Kenshi interrupts or gets involved in the conversation or tries to hear what they're saying, he's like, don't know what they're saying. You're telling me you must have known that Orin spoke another language, surely. Surely you must have used your telepathic abilities to try and speak to him when you captured him and realized he don't speak English. He speaks whatever the hell he's talking. Apparently not. So Tanya's having that conversation with Orin. Orin helps them. The Titan, the all-powerful Titan, can't stop them from going through the portal that Orin creates for them. Whatever. Plot, right? So Havoc is already underwhelming to me. He's not doing that much. They follow his plans. They take his Kamidogu. This guy goes back to Earthrealm. He jumps everyone. I don't know what happened because there was a big explosion, but he jumps everyone. Scorpion's laid out as well as a bunch of other people. He's got his Kamidogus back. And instead of just taking the Kamidogus and going back to his dimension, he has to approach Liu Kang to let him know, hey, you followed my plans, but I've got the Kamidogus. And then he puts them all on himself and then leaves. When you could have quietly gone and done it, and nobody would have been the wiser. You go and do it in their face, I don't know, for chaos or some bullshit. All that bullshit happens. You fast forward, right? They have their showdown with Havoc, and the guy that's been taking L after L, Noob Saibot, took L when he was Sub-Zero, and now he's taking L's when he's Noob Saibot. Guess who beats Havoc? Noob Saibot. And not only does he beat Havoc, he beats Havoc in the very way that they kind of make a point that you can't beat him. Throughout this game, we see Havoc and the Havoc variants and people of the Chaos Realm ripping off their limbs and just throwing them around like it's nothing. So clearly these guys grow limbs back very quickly, which Havoc demonstrates moments before his defeat. Not only does this guy grow limbs back, when he throws his limbs on the floor, whether it be his head, whether it be his arm, he could throw his fucking dick on the floor. Somebody will grow out of it, another Havoc variant. Now, it's very obvious that the Havoc variant that grows out of him isn't as strong as him. But regardless, they are like shadow clones. They're even better than shadow clones, and they spawn very quickly. He's continuously ripping his arms off and creating new versions. And they even point out that we're getting outnumbered here. So how does Noob Saibot beat this guy in a fight? I mean, bear in mind, Noob Saibot, the jobber, who has been getting beaten by everybody, has just beaten a Titan in a fight. How do you think they stop him? By ripping his limbs off. You can't make this shit up. Were you guys asleep at the wheel or something? Did you forget that 5 minutes ago, this was one of the guy's greatest abilities, to just continuously spawn himself and create chaos through that? He's lying there on the floor, no arms, no legs, squirming. Regenerate. What is the difference between you ripping your arms off and Noob Saibot ripping your arms off? There was no distinction made. And so he's there squirming on the floor, and you think to yourself, something's going to happen here because he's a Titan. They've made out like they've beaten him, but like, you know, all anime tropes or bad guy tropes, there's a final form coming. Nope. We skip back to Earthrealm. Noob Saibot is asleep in this box. I guess Liu Kang is going to try and heal him. We come to learn later on in the Towers of Time, or whatever it's called, the classic towers, that he doubles down on his fuckery. He accepts the chaotic powers, and he is just Noob Saibot now. So Bihan's an arsehole. He's just an arsehole. I mean, who attacks their brother's wedding because he left your clan? So there's that. But and then that's it. Cyrax gets an invitation to Scorpion's clan, which is hilarious to me since Cyrax kicked your ass, so she doesn't really need an invitation. She should be the Grand Master. I mean, they all watched you lose to her. You squirmed in front of your wife. Why are you inviting me to your clan? I'm better than you. And then the game ends. And I'm sitting and I'm like, it was going to be a post-credit scene, obviously. They copy the MCU. This was a poor... For as much as I don't like the MCU, they do a much better job at telling a coherent story than NRS does. Those guys don't know what they're doing. I can confidently sit here and tell you, I could have crafted a better story that would have lasted 2 hours. It was only 2 hours. $50. 2 hours. I would have crafted a better story. I can bet you everything in my bank account I could craft a better story than this. It ends and there's no post-credit scene. And I'm sitting and I'm looking around like, surely not. And that's it. That's it. The story does not advance. There's no indication that this whole MCU multiverse bullshit is ever going to stop. And that's it. That's the end of Khaos Reigns. Now, I don't like telling people what to do with their money, but if you have not bought Khaos Reigns, please save yourself $50 or £40, however much is in the UK. I didn't pay for this shit. Thank God I did not pay for this shit. It is not worth $10. It is not. Actually, tell a lie. Let's... Sector, Cyrax, and Noob Saibot. Let's fairly price them, right? Let's say $5.99 a character. Let's just say. So this game is roughly worth between $15 and $20 because this story mode should have been free. The animalities were already free. Warrior Shrine's obviously going to be free because it should have been in the game from day one. And whatever else that should have been in the game from day one should be free. So if they were fairly charging you for Khaos Reigns, it should be $5.99 per character, right? They come with their fatalities. So that works out to around $15, right? Between $15 and $20. That's what it should have been priced. $50 for this steaming pile of shit. Meanwhile, we've got Tekken over here. Say what you want about their microtransactions, and we've said a lot about it. I think it's bullshit what they're doing at the Tekken store. They're giving us a story mode for free, which already looks much more enticing than this bullshit. Hopefully it will be. We're going to do a comparison when it comes out. And they're giving us Heihachi, right? We have to pay for Heihachi in the Genma stage, whatever. I don't expect to get characters for free. But at least we're getting a story mode update for free. If you send me an incoherent story and it's free, fine. It was free, whatever. You charge $50, you put this in the package. I challenge any content creator to take what I'm saying and say that I'm talking shit, that I'm lying, that this was coherent. If you look me dead in my eye and tell me that it made sense for Cyrax to beat her Grandmaster and then beat Scorpion, for Noob Saibot to lose in his debut match, for Liu Kang to stand around doing nothing for most of the story and say, oh, if I go over there, my realm might fall apart. Or Havoc's running around, bruv. The realm's in chaos, do something. And then when he does something, he incinerates everyone. So I'm like, bro, you could just level this battlefield. Just sort it out, mate. Havoc's right there. You're clearly stronger than everyone here. Oh, I want to give sage advice. By the way, does anyone remember that nonsense Liu Kang was doing when Noob Saibot was on the table and he was going like this over his body? Imagine waking up to Liu Kang going like this over you, going, oh, I'm just healing you. You'd think you're having a fucking nightmare. Not like Bihan hasn't been through enough, right? L after L, and then you wake up and there's a dude dancing on top of you like this. Man, fuck this story. NRS, take my advice, please. Put Mortal Kombat on ice. Don't do a Kombat Pack 3. Don't do a Kombat Pack 4. Put this game on ice and make us miss it. And bring one out in 2030 or something, when we've missed it enough and when you've thought about it for more than 5 minutes, because there's just no fucking way that sane adults put this story together and went, kind of doesn't make sense. I mean, why did Rain have to die? He could have just scooched forward a bit, right? He was using his water powers to keep the walls from closing in. And Tanya is there like, every day I'm reminded why I chose you. Bitch, get out of my way. The walls are closing in. He could have scooched forward with his water powers, right? And got towards the door. And maybe he would have lost an arm trying to get out. Maybe he would have lost an arm. But he stood in the middle. They had enough time to run. He couldn't have just walked forward like this, with his water still coming out of his palms. Dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. And then my man's just gone. Dead like that. By the way, before we close this off, don't you think it's funny that the merchants of chaos, all these chaotic people, have enough time to sit around and go to their barbers or hairdressers and get perfectly cut mohawks and then dyed pink and green or whatever? You'd think these people would have hair like mine, right? I don't do anything with my hair. This is just how my hair is. You'd think people are too busy creating chaos. They probably don't shower. They probably barely sleep. They probably just eat each other. But they've got enough time to go get their hair done. Whatever. If you like Mortal Kombat 1 already, then you're gonna like this because they're just giving you 3 characters and then a bunch of guest characters, right? But no matter what anybody says to me, whether you like it or not, whether you're rich or not, I don't care how much money you got in your bank account. I don't care how little you've got in your bank account. You've got to evaluate the product and how much they're charging. You could turn around to me and say, I don't care if they charge me $100 for it. That's not what I'm asking you. What? Okay, you've worked hard. Maybe your parents give you money. I don't know. That's not what I'm saying here. It is not worth what they put the price tag as. It is just not. That is not value for money. You might like Mortal Kombat 1. Great. You know, you got bad taste. I can't help you. You might like it. But it's not worth $50, okay? Objectively speaking, it is not worth $50 when you look around and see what the competition is doing. There's not much more to say, really. There's not much more to say. MK's cooked. Sorry, I should have ended the video, but something just popped to mind. Why is there a hand on Noob Saibot's waist? Did I miss something? I'm confident that I missed something. It must be me. It has to be me. I'm not even saying that as a joke. I must have missed something. Why is there a hand on Noob Saibot's waist? Did we get an explanation for that? I'm scouring my memories right now. I don't seem to remember an explanation as to why there is a hand on Noob Saibot's waist. That seems significant for this chaotic dude to be keeping a hand on his waist.